Welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be picking up from where we left off, but before I continue, I just want to state that in that previous video I mentioned that I did Hennessy promotions. It wasn't Hennessy, it was Remy Martin promotions. And if you guys have not watched that video, please cut this one and go and watch that one. Come right back here. Oh, all right. So after the whole Hennessy, Remy Martin promotions, like I mentioned, my taste changed in that I didn't like want for going out anymore or partying anymore. Like, it wasn't exciting for me. It wasn't drawing me. Like, sometimes, like, you know, like when you were partying, like, oh, I can't wait to go to this event and stuff like that. Is I don't It had nothing to do with age, because it was like in my early 20s, and like, you know, when you're at that age for the most part, you like to go almost everywhere. So after that first deliverance, as I mentioned, my boyfriend at the time, he lived in my in my apartment, not in my apartment because I was sharing the apartment with a roommate. So pretty much the apartment where I was living, and so then after that whole like outburst and stuff like that, we said, you know what, I was still going partying sometimes, like doing my promotions in between, and I actually lost that job as well. You know, remember the one where I told you that the guy came to me and tell me that in the dream the Lord spoke to him about the phone bill, right? So I lost that job as well. I actually walked away from that job because I was just tired, honestly speaking, of being in that type of work. I really needed a break. I really needed a break. It's like 10 years of my life plus, and I just wanted a break. So I stepped away from that job, and at this point in time, I was living using unemployment checks, and we decided, my boyfriend at the time and I decided that I needed to go through deliverance. So we found this lady, this guy, actually, we met him in Folkestone Park, I think it is. But he was talking about, you know, trying to figure out where certain things would have stemmed from and stuff like that. Because that's what you have to do when you're going through deliverance. You have to dig deep. They have to dig deep. Deliverance ministers have to ask you, you know, about your past and things that you've done, and you cannot be shy or ashamed or anything. If, for example, you have lesbian tendencies, you've never been a lesbian, but you have lesbian tendencies, or you've never had sexual intercourse with a male, but you have gay tendencies, like, you know, you have to open up about that, because we do believe that those are spirits. So because it's not of God, anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So we went to him, and somehow, some way, we didn't do a deliverance. We didn't do deliverance with him, but we did deliverance with another lady, and it was her and two other guys. And on that night of deliverance, I remember that there was this red beam just beaming through a window, and she like pointed it out. Like, as soon as she began, she like pointed it out that there was like a red beam. Like, she pointed, she didn't say anything, and the guy closed the window. And then we started deliverance process, and during the deliverance process, I was told that my face just got like really, really angry. Like, there was no manifestation, that kind of way. Spirits don't always manifest themselves in a way like in the movies, you know, like where you scream, yell, shout, cry, like eat your body or whatever. You know, they don't always do that. You know, they would manifest themselves, like they would come out in like yawns as well, and coughs, and sometimes you would actually like vomit and stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be this projectile level of vomit. It could be just like you spitting them all the time as well. That's like the going through the deliverance process. All right, so while I was there, like I said, they told me that my face was just getting angry, that my face was getting mean and angry, and in the end they told me that was a spirit of anger that I'm struggling with. And then during the process, like, something smelled so good. I cannot explain how it smelled. It smelled so good. And then I got a glimpse of being, I was transferred in the spirit to a place that was of peace. It was literally peace. It was like, I don't want to call it a forest, because when you think of a forest, you usually think like really tall trees. Um, but it was kind of like in a section of a forest, like it was surrounded by a forest, and there was a lot of vegetation. And then there was this like real kind of old school looking type of well, not one that was built up, but one that you could literally go and sit on it. And a lady was there, and I can't remember what she, if she said anything to me, but she was like passing her hand just through the water gently, and it smelled so good. And that is all that happened. Because they asked me afterward like how I felt and what was going on and stuff like that, and I told them just exactly that. I asked them, all I could describe it as was like an almond scented lotion. There's nothing else. And there was one other time I experienced that scent, and I can't remember what was going on at that point in time, but it was something very spiritual that was going on, and it smelt it as well. And I don't know if it was heaven or where it was, but I always say if it when it came back again, that scent, I said it smelled like heaven. I just call it heaven. I don't know, but because of the serenity and the peace that I felt in that space, I called it heaven. All right. So after that, there was no manifestations per se, no coughing, no like yelling, nothing like that, no vomiting, no passing out, no nothing. And so we went on our way. Mind you, leading up to that deliverance session, a lot of nonsense happened to my boyfriend at the time. Like he was being taunted in his dreams. I too was being taunted in my dreams. um what happened, he actually got into a car accident, and there was something else he said that he was really really very uneasy about everything, because he's like, these things don't normally happen. It's like, I think it's happening because you're going to go to get deliverance, and I believed him, because I mean, we were together for a while and nothing like that usually happens, And in reading the Bible, I don't believe in coincidences, because when you read the Bible, when the Lord says something, it has to come to pass no matter how it comes to pass. It comes to pass no matter how we see it come to pass. It comes to pass because it is something that He wants done. All right, and when you read the Bible, you realize, you'll be like, but why did why did Solomon marry all these wives, when it was not supposed to be like that or whatever, and the Lord said, he's going to take away such and such from Solomon, and all of that, and how it came about, even though people will see it as rebellion and so on and so forth. It was the way in which the Lord planned it to happen. All right, sometimes us humans go a little overboard, but anyways, so what happened next? So then I continued living my life, still in the world, and I began to transition into Christianity. Like like I said, I won't really feel to go out partying or anything of that sort or anything like that. And that this is where things began to get a lot different. No, it was my brother's birthday, and he went to um, Cafe Sol to have drinks with his friends, and he invited me, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll come, because it's just Cafe Sol, just have a few drinks or whatever. And so we went to Cafe Sol, and I had like, it was like 2 for 1 margaritas, so I had a round of margaritas, I think, yeah, or two, yeah. And then he left. No, the group of them were leaving to go into a party spot. So at that point in time, I was driving my boyfriend at the time's car. So I'm not necessarily, I mean, I won't drive drunk anyways. And so I for sure was making sure that I was not under any type of like heavy influence of alcohol, not even buzzed or anything like that. And so I said, okay, no problem. I'll go and have fun with my brother. He don't really go anywhere anyway, so I will just go. So we went to this party spot, and So I began drinking and dancing. And at this point in time, I wasn't dancing and having fun. It was just dancing to be a part of the crowd, like whatever. Because then different things started to look different to me. Like I would see people dancing, but it won't be people dancing. You guys probably think that some sort of voodoo was worked on me or whatever, but honestly, I can just tell you what happened. So persons to me didn't look like people dancing. Like I could see beings dancing, right? And where we went had like a lot of writing on the wall, and the writing started to look so weird and different, and I don't know how to fully explain it, but it just looked different. And so we began drinking or whatever and having like I could consume a lot of alcohol without being like so like buzzed or whatever. I think it's from promotions and stuff like that, because you had to drink alcohol and you had to consume a lot of alcohol and have fun or whatever. So my alcohol tolerance, then and still no, I've not really tested it though, no, but it's pretty high. And so then after, like, while I was there like trying to have fun or whatever, trying to like push past all of these like things that I'm seeing, my shoe broke, right? And I was trying to find my brother and tell him that my shoe broke, but I couldn't really find him. So I like walked out, and this was probably like 2 or 3 hours after us being there. So I walked out. At this point in time, it's probably like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I walked out and hobbled to the car because my shoe broke, and I'm trying to like walk in such a way. I think I just took off my shoe and like walked out because I had on a pair of heels, and I walked to the car. No, I can tell you, I don't know what happened between me getting to the car and me opening up my eyes and seeing my boyfriend at the time standing over me. All right, so he told me that um because his car had a muffler that is pretty loud, so you would hear the car coming through like the vicinity. And he told me he heard the car come in, and he heard me unlock the door, but I didn't come in the bedroom, and that's where he was. So he said that he came out to me, and because I told him after all this whole thing, I told him, please tell me everything that happened and don't leave out anything, don't leave out a thing, try hard to remember everything and tell me, right? And he told me when that he heard me coming, but I didn't come in the bedroom. So he then came out to me and saw me sitting in the dark, and just like with my head down and just sitting in the dark, and he was like, Astra, and I won't answer. He said, Astra, what happened? And what I could remember now is that I think he said he took me to the bedroom, and then when I came to, I was like shoved down a corner, and he was like pushing me down his corner and trying to control me. And mind you, he used to be in the gym, so he was buffed and everything, so he was trying to control me. And when I came to, I could hear myself say, "Ha! That is why your penis is so small." And they like keep enough noise, and then like I heard myself saying these things, and when I heard it, I was like, "What is going on?" And then I said, "Call." And I called my roommate's name. I told him, go and get her, call. And I was calling her name, and then I like back in, and then that was it. And then probably the demon manifested itself again, and then like his towel, because he only had on a towel at that time, and his towel dropped off, and then I saw him like put it back on, and then I saw my roommate come in, and she wasn't scared, but she was like keeping her distance, and she was like holding on, looking at me, because I could tell you my boyfriend at the time, like he held me down in the corner, like trying to hold me down. And I can't tell you how I got down there. I do not know. That's the honest to God truth. And he said, and then she was like, Astra, what happened? Did somebody put some in your drink? And I just started laughing at her, and I keep enough noise. And then it was like, and I called her name, so her name was Nicole. And it was like, Nicole, help me. And I was like, and I went back again. And when, it was like in or out. I personally was in and out. And then this thing just keep taking over. And then her boyfriend at the time, then my boyfriend took me up. My boyfriend at the time took me up and tried to like get me to the car because he was taking me to my mother, who was not too far, but like 5 minutes drive away from me. And my roommate's boyfriend at the time, he was there. And I remember when I was in the kitchen, I could remember saying, like, I like looked around at him and said, you have something as well. And I said, let's play. And then from there his voice went from being a regular voice and went to this like, hey bitch, get the thing. Like he was talking like this, right? Like literally he began talking like that. And he was like, you need to stay from around me because I don't know who you think of it. But his voice changed to this like high-pitched thing. So to me, it was like demon recognized demon. And like they were talking and like the one that was in me was calling out the one in him. And my roommate at the time told me that he was scared. And so my boyfriend at the time took me from the kitchen and then he took me downstairs and then he was trying to get me the car. And I mean, it was a fight to get me in the car, so much so that the car keep get bend up. And like I remember hearing somebody in my what you call it, one of my neighbors, she said, get you off my car, don't let you get on my car. And it was like, after thinking back about it, I was like, seriously, something wrong with somebody and you can get the person off your car? Like, where is your heart, you know? So anyways, so he eventually got me in the car and he put me in the front seat, all right? And I remember when we were driving, going to my mom, like I was just holding on to him and shaking him and pulling around the steering wheel and I was dropping back in my seat. And then just getting back up for him and then it's like fighting with him. He's like, Astro, relax, Astro, behave. That's in the car swerving, like, and not exaggerating. The car swerving and like I pushed around the steering wheel and he eventually gets my mom. And then then I saw my brother get in the car and my brother was in the back seat. I don't know how I got from in the front seat to the back seat. I think I was in the back seat, honestly speaking, and trying to like choke him and swerving around the wheel and stuff like that. And my brother came in the back seat and then it was just real solemn and crying. And I was telling my brother, you see, I tell you that let's say one of his friends that was at Cafe Sol, his name was Jamal. You see, I told you that Jamal going demons, but you don't want to hear me because in a photo his eyes glowed, right? I don't know what's the weird thing about glowing eyes. It just reminded me the time when I was at the event and I saw the whole set of people's eyes glowing. It just reminded me of that. So I was telling him that he has demons in him, but you won't listen. I was saying, but you won't listen to me, da, da, da. And then all of a sudden it was a whole, like I started to choke my brother and just like started shaking him and just started fighting with him and he was getting scared. And then my boyfriend at the time got in the car because my mom wasn't there. My brother lived with my mom at the time and my mom wasn't there. She was at work, so my brother now was like wrestling with me, and sometimes I'm like trying to choke the life out of him, and other times I'm just like, and then I just get back up again, you know. And then my mom, we went to my mom's workplace, and then my mom opened the car and she was like, Astra, what's wrong with you, Astra? And I was like, but mommy, I was telling them and they don't want to hear me, da, 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 da. And I continued, and then I started to go from talking to my mom like regular, I guess, and I started to say rap, hip-hop, music, R&B, and I like started saying these things, and I don't know, like just thinking back about it is like, I felt as if it was the demon was saying the music. It is the music that gets into the heads. It's how we possess. It's how we work. You know, I can't help if that is a truth per se. Like if somebody has any kind of like research to say that that's what it is. But that is what I was feeling, you know, that's what I was saying, even though I was just saying rap, hip hop, R&B and stuff like that. So then my mom like got in the car and we went by my aunt. Remember I told you that my aunt and my mom were the two, like one person was on this hand and the other person was on this hand and they were like praying over me and stuff like that. So we went by that aunt, and at this time it was so bad. I mean, the strength that was in me was so I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was so strong. It was so bad. And all I remember was that I was flat on the ground. My aunt was on this arm pushing me down. My boyfriend at the time was on this hand pushing me down. Like, I was flat on the ground. My brother was on one leg and my mother was on the other leg. It took 4 people to hold me down, and then like just shoving and screaming and just keeping noise. I don't know, and I could hear my aunt praying over me, you know. And my brother, I could feel my brother's fear, and I started to talk to him and tell him stuff like, I know that you are scared, and I'm gonna pretty much feed on the fact that you are scared. And I started to like get into, not me, the demon, I should say, started to like get into his head. And then my mom was like, Kareem, try to man it, and da da da, like really licking it all to him because the demon was feeding off of him. All right. And then my brother was like, all right. My brother is older than I am, but I always tell people you are scared of things that you don't know. All right. So the demon just like went back and just like start screaming or whatever. And I remember seeing, because where we were, it was like low, and then there was like the roadside was above like this, so you go down a hill, and persons were there on the roadside like looking at what was going on, because it was nothing quiet once again. This time it was like a lot of like noise and stuff like that. And then after a while of my aunt and my mom and everybody praying over me and trying to cast out this demon, it left. And then I got up and they took me out, and everybody was like, Astro, you okay? I'm like, yeah, what wrong? Why wanna wrong me so? Like, what's going on? Why wanna have me on the ground? Right? And then like everybody was like, oh, like, you know, it felt as if a weight getting lifted off of everybody, and I'm just confused as to what is wrong with y'all. Like, why y'all looking at me like that? And then I felt a little embarrassed because my dress that I had on like was right up in a sense, and so like certain parts were exposed and stuff, so I felt a little embarrassed. But and then they had me on the ground, so like anybody that knows me know that don't dirty up my skin, okay? So anyways, and then all of a sudden, oh, my brother came to me afterwards and he was like, Astra, I'm so sorry, because he started to blame himself for the way I was. He thought that it was because he asked me to come and go and stuff like that. Could be not. It's not him though, it's the demons. And so then when he came to me, I felt I felt overwhelmed. Something took over me again. I could feel what my brother was feeling. I could feel like the heartbeat of my brother. I could feel his fear. And then I just looked at him and I started to hold on to him again. I started to choke him, like really like trying to choke him. And then I don't know what else happened. And then I came to again, and they held me down and began praying on me again, and I came to, and that was it. All right, so this one's gonna be a little bit longer than the other. This video is gonna be a little bit longer than the other video. So a couple days passed now, and I mean, I am the lightest feather on earth. I have the happiest spirit on earth. Everything good. I mean, I cool, you know, like I really didn't want to talk about what happened, but I really wanted to know what happened. So I was getting stories from persons, recounts of what happened from everybody who was around, my brother, my mom, my boyfriend at the time, and my aunt. I didn't really talk much to my aunt, but when I did talk to her, you know, she was telling me that I was telling, not me, but the demon in me at the point in time was telling her things about herself that nobody knew. All right, and she was telling me she showed me her hand of all of my fingernails. I wasn't wearing acrylics back then. She showed me her hand of all 4 of my fingernails. Like, I grabbed hold of her hand and started digging into it. So I think she still has that scar up to now, like all of my fingernails into her skin. And my hair catching cold bumps because of the calm down. So then I can remember too, like when I was not there, when they were praying over me, I can remember my aunt, when she was praying, her saliva was getting on me, and every time it hit me, it felt cool and refreshing. You know, like how if you suck on a mint and then you go and drink cold water or water of any temperature, how cooling that sensation is in your mouth. That's how it felt every time. Like she prayed on me and her saliva hit me in like different areas. She didn't mean to spit on me, people. It literally felt like cool and like that kind of refreshing type of feeling. And so I knew at that point in time that she was anointed for what she was doing. All right. And I can remember somebody was saying to her, like that was looking down when they were praying over me. I can remember somebody saying, "Well, I didn't know you do this. I didn't know you do that. Like I didn't know that you did." Meaning my aunt, I didn't know that you just deal with like casting out demons and stuff. I don't think that she does though. But you know, when the Lord calls you to do things. So then after that, my I went. I started to contemplate going to church, and I was like, this was literally like 2 days, and I saw my mom. I was off that day, and I was going back home because I was running errands, and I saw my mom walking going into work. And I blew the horn and I was like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy," and I sat down and I talked to her about it, and she started to tell me things about herself, about things that happened to her, how she was born, and I don't want to like talk too much about it, because I think it's a little private. Um, it has to do with things that she was literally when she physically came out to my grandmom's womb, how she looked, and a lot of persons were real skeptical about it. It wasn't like she was deformed or anything. It's just a certain thing over her, like on her physically, and they had to like I can't remember if they took it off or if it grew off. Um, but anyways, she began to talk to me about it and tell me, you know, these things happen and that thing happened, and I started to get like a little upset with her because I was like, "But mommy, why you didn't tell me these things before? Because you got me feeling now as if something is wrong with me." You know, that's why I think that Christians really need to open up and talk about their life experiences and what they go through and start acting as if, you know, their life is all a bed of roses, because we really need to open up and let not everybody, but let one another know what we go through so that we can strengthen one another and not feel as if, you know, we're weird or strange or aliens or outcast or what's the word, like possessed or targeted or whatever. Even though when you're a Christian you're targeted, you know, I think we really need to open up. So anyways, so after that, to I lost my boyfriend at the time because I began to transition into Christianity. And he didn't want Christian Astra because Christian Astra was not one to have sex, one to have him sleeping over, one to be going out partying. He didn't want that. He wanted the worldly Astra. So even though we tried and stuff like that, it didn't work out. And like he literally, this is what he also said, you know, he don't want the Astra, he wants the old Astra. And I said, well, I can't give that to you. So I decided to like end the relationship. So that was that. And then like it was very heart-wrenching, you know, because I really loved him, and he was, like I said, like not a problem, thing was wrong with him. So I prayed to the Lord and I said, "God, I'm gonna release this one, and I pray that the one that you send next, you know, because the sacrifice I'm giving, please make him absolutely perfect." All right. And I can tell you that the fiance that I have now is amazing. Amazing. I could not write on a piece of paper the things I wanted in a husband, because I would be selling him short, you know. So he's absolutely amazing. So after the whole last like deliverance with my aunt and my mom and stuff like that, I started to go to church, and there was a time where I would get tauntings in my dreams. I remember this one particular time I fell asleep, and no, I didn't fall asleep. I went to sleep. There's a difference, all right? I'll explain in a second. I went to sleep, and in my dream, not in my dream, I call it their dreams and their experiences and their visions and their premonitions, all right? They're different things for me. That's how I categorize them. So in while I was asleep, I had this experience, and the the devil himself visited me. And this is how I know it was a devil, because I don't know, I have not seen his face, but what happened in the experience, I was lifted off the ground and I was being spun around in like a whirlwind, but off of the ground in this black gulf of smoke. Like just started to like spin me around, and then the his minions, just black shadows, was like looking up at me, and he started the devil himself started laughing and saying, "You think that the Lord really wants you?" And he started to laugh, and the minions started to laugh as well, and then the devil himself said, "You think that the Lord loves you?" And then he started to laugh, and then he started to taunt me somewhere, but I don't remember exactly what else he was saying. And I was like, I don't know how I got out of that, but I was brought out of it. I think I started to pray, and I was brought out of it. And I don't know how many persons know that there is a different levels of prayer, and how you're supposed to pray in the spirit as well, because you're supposed to war in the spirit. A lot of persons actually just dream, and bad things happen in the dream, and these things actually manifest themselves on the earth. And if you don't know how to war in the spirit, like while you are asleep and literally war, it's gonna overtake you. All right. So then, and that's something that I was gifted in doing because of my experiences, and that's something that I taught my fiance what to do as well. So then after that, I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember how I got out of that. And then there was a time as well during my Christian walk, like I felt like alone, and I met up with one of my ex-classmates, and this is it's a whole other story thing, but I remember this is the only time I've ever heard the Lord's voice in wrath. I've heard him speak to me in, audibly. And then after I tell you this story, I'm going to then tell you why I became a Christian. How I became a Christian, not why. All right? Because, like I said, I kind of like went back in the world, but I was still like in and out of church. Not in a sense, not in and out, because I wasn't like out partying whatever, but I was indecisive about being a Christian. So I like met up with one of my friends that I used to go to school with. This is at college, and when we were actually gonna head out together, and then like I felt I was put into a sleep because I wasn't tired, I wasn't sleeping, nothing. I just was put into a sleep, and then I was ready and dressed and everything to leave the house, and then I heard the Lord say, "Do not go out tonight." Right? Listen, if you've ever heard thunder clap on top of your roof, like it sounds as if it like is on top of your roof, like you have to like put your hand over your ear. That is soft compared to hearing the voice of the Lord in wrath, right? And when I got up, my heart was like boom, boom, like beating, and I was like, oh my gosh, what I do wrong? Okay, God, I can do it. I don't care. I can find a way. I gotta get out of this thing. Like I was swear, like, so I got up and I messaged the guy and I told him, well, I can't make it tonight. He was like, well, what happened? I said, well, you going? He said, no, I'm not going. And who I was going with was a guy, and to me it sounded as if he was trying to set me up with his married guy. So I was very grateful with what happened, what transpired. So I didn't go, right? Because in no way that somebody can shout at me so loud. I am surprised, and then we could make eardrums bleeding. But I do, from my experience, I realized like hearing audio in the spirit, when you come from in the spirit into the natural, meaning back into this world where you actually open up your eyes, it's going to sound really, really loud. But literally I was still in the spirit, and that was so deafening. All right, so anyways, that's the one and only time I heard the voice of the Lord in wrath, and I pray, God, please just leave me out, please don't shout at me again, because that was so scary. So how I managed to become a Christian. So after, remember I told you guys was running errands, and I saw my mom, and we sat and we spoke, and she was telling me how she was delivered, how she came out of the womb and stuff like that, and things that happened to her, or so on and so forth. All right, cool. So after I left my mom, I was like, Mala, I am all this drama. I am going to live my life how I feel live my life, whatever. All right. So I drove to the junction where when you like kind of opposite Chanel supermarket, like in Common Rock kind of area. I drove to that junction because I was coming from like Pine Boulevard area, so over that stretch, came to that junction, turned left where KFC now is going on my left hand side, and I continued driving past Church of Nazarene, going up past the Old Banks Breweries, going up past Chafette. I just want you guys to travel with me, all right? Past Chafette restaurant on my left. All right, so then I got to Carter's, and that is when I decided, you know what, I am about this drama, whatever. I just want my life to be back to normal. Please just leave me out of all this. So then I decided I'm not going back to church. I really don't want drama in my life. So when I got by Carter's, which was on my left, so we in Wildingham. When I got to there, you know, you have to choose a lane, either the outside lane or the inside lane that will take you straight. So when I got to that junction, I decided to go on the outside lane, and a police jeep was coming up to go around to keep you to go straight. So the police jeep was coming, yes, but I couldn't make it. So anyways, so when I was approaching Carter's, I decided about this, I want my life to be back to normal. So that was it. I was deciding to go back into the world and leave it be. Then I heard the voices. I heard the voice of the Lord before, but I didn't know it was the voice of the Lord. So when this happened, I knew it was the voice of the Lord. And maybe when I am more comfortable, I will tell you guys the first times I actually heard the voice of the Lord, but I didn't know it was the voice of the Lord. All right, so by Carter's, decided I going back in the world. I don't care about all this drama, like all this spiritual aspect, like please leave me out of all of that, even though it happened to me. And I decided, boom, I go back into the world. And as soon as I made that decision, the Lord said, it is time. Not like that. He said, it is time. And I was shocked. I was confused. I was scared. I was in panic because I'm driving a manual car to be safe, and somebody talking to me, and there's no person in my car. So then, like I said, I recognized the voice, and I knew then that it was the voice of God. And then I literally said, but I'm scared. Water started to fill my eyes, as it's kind of filling my eyes now. And I said, but I am scared. And he said, he touched. We drive on the right hand. We drive right hand driven cars here in Barbados. Let me just play it that way. So after I said, but I'm scared, he said, it is going to be okay. And he touched my right arm. Ain't nobody could get up in that area of my car, right? And he touched my right arm, and he said, it is okay. I will be with you. And for the time he said that, I was like, oh God, I gotta go to church. Like, I literally have to get to the house of God. So then, like, that was happening while I got like by Carter's to the junction. So that short space is where all of that transpired. So I got to the junction, my head in confusion, because this person, God talking to me, and they gotta make a decision on the road, and they saw the police jeep coming up. So I you make a decision, like I can make it, I can make it. So I drove and I went straight, and then the police jeep came around. So I went over to the other lane, because when you go straight, there are two lanes. So I was on the outer lane, so I indicated and I went to the inner lane. So I drive in, still on the stretch, and the Lord said, they are going to pull you over, meaning the police. All right, so for example, I heard him say they're going to pull you over, I looked in my rearview mirror, and the police was far behind me, and also I was like, nobody ain't pulling me over. If they wanted me, they would be up behind me. I already turned my siren. So I was like, so at that point in time, I was like, what is all these voices I hear in my head? What is this craziness? So I started shit myself out of it. No, Astra, everything is fine. You just hearing these things, just leave it out. Just breathe in, breathe out. And for the time I said breathe out, I heard I was like, oh my gosh, right? And then at that point in time, I started to panic on the inside. And then it was like, okay, all right, these voices are real. These voices are real. All right, this voice is real. And then I started panicking a little bit because my car wasn't all the way right. And I And I didn't like policemen at the time either, because I found that they were very, very forceful and unmannerly. So they like pulled me over on the stretch, still on Wildy stretch, and they like pulled up next to me. So I'm driving and they turned the siren behind me, and then I like pulled over to the side and they pulled up next to me, and I lowered the window. So while they were like pulling up next to me, the Lord said, be calm, be very polite, and use a lot of manners, right? Like I said, I didn't like policemen at that time, and I voiced my opinion. I'm very opinionated. And so normally I would like look at them like, what you want? But I listened to the voice because he guided me. He said, be very mannerly. Or he said, use as little words as possible. So I rolled the window down, and the policeman came up, and they didn't get the jeep or whatever, and they asked, do you know how to use that junction? And I said, yes, please, I do. And they said, okay. And they said something else, and I can't remember what exactly it was. And they said, okay, well, next time, do not, pretty much advising, don't go through the junction like that, because pretty much I took it like I was on a racetrack. But I didn't drive fast. But anyways, they said, so they just spoke to me and advised me, and that was it. And honestly, that in itself was a miracle for me to understand and to know that I spoke to a policeman so calmly, you know. So I was very obedient to the word of God when he said, use as little words, use as much manners, use manners, and you know, be mannerly. And my drive home from there was like confusing. I went and I called my at that point in time, my boyfriend at the time, and we were still like kind of together, and I told him what happened, and you know, yeah, that is why I became a Christian. Not because I was scared, not because of those 2-3 possessions, not even because of the devil himself visiting me, not because of that, because the Lord told me it is time. And that is why I became a Christian. So yeah, we are at 40 somebody minutes in this thing, and I am sorry it took so long, but I pray that it isn't too long for you guys. And I just want to advise you to don't let it get this far for you. If you know within your heart of hearts that the Lord is calling you, go. How I actually got into baptism and stuff like that, that's a whole other story. I feel my life full of enough dramas, but I'll leave that for another story time, because girl, anyways, it was a whole big thing, and I'm like, but wait, just can't get baptized, what is the problem? I was like so angry with life. Anyway, so guys, yeah, that is how the reasoning behind why I became a Christian. And I pray that it opened up a lot of you guys' eyes. If you guys do not believe anything I'm saying, okay, the Son will not advocate and push back and say that it is the sun, because the sun is literally the sun. The moon is not going to argue with you and say it is the moon. The moon is the moon, so it will be the moon. I will not sit and argue with you and say that these are lies and I'm making this up, because it is not a lie. Everything I just said is the gospel truth. And I'm very appreciative for all your support, and I'm very appreciative for persons who continue to ask that I do this video for you guys. And I pray that it opens up everybody's eyes as well, and I pray that you guys listen to your dreams as well, and learn how to read your dreams as well. Ask the Lord for the wisdom and understanding, and he will guide you. So now whenever I go through my Bible, I've read my Bible from cover to cover. I'm now reading it over as well. And every time I go through my Bible and I see where the Lord says, I will be with you, I just highlight it and remember that day. Yeah, if you guys want to see any other particular videos, just let me know. Thank you very much for sticking around with me after all this time. Do have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. From Barbados to you with love. Bye guys.
Don't forget to hit that circle button to subscribe to my channel, and here are 2 more of my videos. See you soon!